Hello and welcome back to Handlebars and Holidays. Thanks for joining me again. I'm playing catch up today, so let's get the intro out of the way and then I'll tell you all about it. So thanks for sticking with me, and yes, I'm playing catch up today. I've got a nice little a 3-day, 2-night tour planned with a few good friends, but I've got to catch them up. They all set off quite early this morning, and unfortunately, due to a last minute bit of change of work schedule, I ended up having to work this morning. So today was a particularly early start, and we got to the job as fast as we could, knocked my aspect off, should I say, as quick as possible, and it's now just coming up to midday. The other guys were setting off at 8:30 this morning, and they're kind of going the nice scenic route. They will no doubt stop for lunch and take the time, and I've got to blast up the main roads and just get to the digs for the first night. And I reckon we'll get there at about the same time, roughly. I've managed to get away about half an hour earlier than I thought I would, so everything is going as well as it can for now. So I'm going to munch some K's now. I've got it's a 4.5 hour trip, and I've got 4 hours of it ahead of me at the moment, just a touch over 4 hours. So I'll get stuck in, knock a few K's off, and get back to you in a bit. So we've got about an hour and 40 minutes to go now. Just gone through one of the little towns and put a bit of fuel in. Probably didn't really need any fuel, but you never know what you're going to be able to get, and that fuel station that we've just passed had 98 octane. This bike likes 95 octane, but in a lot of these rural towns you can only get 91. So assuming that I'll probably end up having to put some 91 in, I've just put 10 litres of 98 in. So does that equal out to make 95? So anyway, I don't think it's overcritical, but we're all right for fuel now. I'm actually surprised at the roads, to be honest. I was expecting to be going, not having travelled this way, this direction, sort of northeasterly. I wasn't sure what the roads would be like, and I expected them to be main roads full of lorries and big trucks and stuff, and they've not been. They've all been like this. They've been really nice, a little bit twisty, your typical Western Australian 5Ks of straight road every now and then, but in the main they've been very nice and very quiet, hardly any traffic. The occasional caravanner, the odd lorry, but not many at all. So up to now it's been a really nice ride, enjoying it. Anyway, I'll crack on and I'll touch base again when we're just arriving in the town of, I think it's Malawi. I think it's pronounced Malawi, not sure, but anyway, where our first night's digs is. So see you in a bit. Okay, so just coming into Three Springs now. Never been to Three Springs before, don't know what to expect. These little country towns are can be quite amazing. You can actually get to what you imagine to be a decent sized little town, and there's literally nothing there. So this one looks like there's a little bit more going on. Time will tell. 24-hour fuel now then. That looks like it's just going to be diesel and 91. So maybe I was right putting the 98 in earlier. Silos there. A lot of these silos are painted. They've got really fancy murals on them, but not those. Oh, a tank. So that was Three Springs. Not much to it, is there? Wow. So incidentally, the new armoured jeans that I don't know whether I mentioned earlier, I meant to even if I didn't, they're coming up trumps. They're, considering it's 32, 33 degrees, are way cooler than my other armoured jeans, which are black. But it's almost as if they've got a very thin metal layer in them, and they seem to get unbelievably hot. They're almost burning your leg. Whereas these are most definitely cooler. They feel like a normal pair of jeans, which means my other jeans will now be relegated to winter use. I think that's a sensible thing to do. We seem to have scooped up rather a lot of flies on the way. So it looks like we've got about 50 k's to go, another half hour or so, maybe a touch less, and that is the town of Minganoo. I think that's how you say it, Minganoo. And according to the sat-nav, there is fuel and food and sleeping in Minganoo, so it must be of a reasonable size. And then I believe that's the last stop then, until we get where we're going, which will be about another hour further on. So we're making progress, all is well. This is actually a nice little sort of tester in terms of camera and audio and our bike and clothing and such like for our big holiday / adventure in October, which is literally just about 3.5 weeks off when I get back from this little trip. And hopefully anybody watching this will stick around and enjoy that, because that is going to be really interesting. It's a month-long trip. We're going over the Nullarbor, which is the desert, if you will, between Western Australia and South Australia. We've never been across the Nullarbor before. It'll be a bit of an adventure doing it on a bike. We'll have a couple of nights sleeping in motels on the Nullarbor. And then once we get over there, we will very shortly after be in Adelaide. We've got some friends in Adelaide we're hoping to pop in and say hello to. Not seen them for years. And just wander around then. We'll have a few weeks, we'll have a couple of weeks really of just aimlessly 2.5 weeks of basically going where the wind takes us. And then we'll have to start heading home, because it's roughly a week-long trip to get home. But really looking forward to that. That should be really good, and I don't doubt there will be lots of interesting things happen and cock-ups along the way. Let's just get past this lorry. So yeah, hopefully you'll stick around for that. It'll be probably several episodes, or maybe create a little playlist, and yeah, you get to see all our cock-ups and the things that go wrong, of which I'm sure there'll be plenty. talking of things going wrong, I had a bit of an incident on the bike. Oh, it'll be about 5 weeks ago now. I was out with a friend of mine just for a Sunday ride, nothing exciting really. And the long and short of it is he ran into the back of me. With just one of those momentary lapses in concentration. I stopped at a junction and I think he sort of looked to the right, and anyway, I'll put a little clip up, you can have a quick look. But that's caused quite a bit of hassle really, I suppose. The long and short of it being, the insurance company actually wrote his bike off. His bike was a 21 or 22 Triumph Tiger, and it was predominantly cosmetic damage just to the very front end. The clock, the sort of front fairing, the clocks were damaged, that sort of thing. We didn't really think there was that much damage, but from an economical point of view, it wasn't worth repairing, it seems, which we were a little bit amazed by. Fortunately, he was insured properly and the insurance paid him out, and he's now bought himself another bike. The damage to my bike, this bike, appeared to be pretty superficial. It appeared to be, I didn't come off the bike, it didn't fall over. I did a little bit of damage to myself, which I'll come back to in a sec, but the damage to this bike was pretty minimal, so we thought. But then on a bit more inspection by the repairers, they found various bits of, there was damage to the top box, damage to the mud guard, to the exhaust, to the rear light cluster, all the pannier rack, which supports the two side panniers, was all bent and twisted. So I'm still waiting of a few parts. Most of them have come, and the only important bit really is the pannier rack. That's the bit we're still waiting of really, because we need them for our trip in a few weeks. But everything will get put back to how it was on my bike, and the only thing that was a little bit frustrating is in the heat of the moment of trying not to drop my bike, I banged my right shin on the cylinder. That's the drawback with the boxer engine, you've got a cylinder to bang your leg on. And at the time didn't think much of it. It was just later that day it turned into a little bruise, and then it turned into a bigger bruise the day after, and then a bigger bruise the day after, and by the fourth day this is what it looked like. So that's taken several weeks to it now looks more like the first day. It's gone back down to just a little circular bruise, but that was pretty damn sore for the first couple of weeks. But hey ho, you ride bikes, things happen. So this is the town of Midgedu, and we're actually making a turn. Just a second, just been on the continuation of the same road for ages. We're going to turn right in a minute. I can't remember how you do that. They're all kind of the same, these little towns. Midgedu. A bakery. Okay, here we go. Oh, there's the fuel station. Oh, I guess that was it. Thank you for visiting Midgedu. Okay, 80 k's to the 79 k's to the next turning. Okay, crack on. And there you go, a typical Western Australian road. You can't see the end of it. Consider road closed in 10 k's. Consider alternate route. Now then, that's going to be interesting. Road closed ahead, detour ahead. Okay, get out of this one. Right, that's a ball bag. Now, how far is this going to take me out of the way? According to this according to the sat-nav, this road doesn't exist. According to my phone. Vodafone says no. Geraldton, 100 k's. I don't want to go to Geraldton. Oh shit. Well, the sat-nav's rerouted. 4:07 arrival. So it looks like it's added about 7 minutes as long as it's correct. That's no big deal. Considering we're absolutely in the middle of nowhere, I think I've been through about 7 or 8 sets of roadworks, constantly doing something or nothing to the road, but just enough to make you slow down and stop for a couple of minutes. It's not like a detour in the UK that just takes you around the block, is it? Okay, so update. Holy shit. Crying out loud. Okay, so we hit a road closed in 10 k's and a detour that turned us left. We followed that detour sign and sat-nav agreed that yes, you can go this way. Vodafone, the iPhone gave up. I'm out. So sat-nav was quite happy. Yes, you can go this way. Follow the detour. It rerouted. We went probably about 7 or 8k down that road, and then sat-nav said, turn round now, go back. So why sat-nav wanted me to go 7 or 8k down that road, God only knows. And then turned round. We passed numerous junctions, but it waited till I'd gone 7 or 8k and then said, turn round now. I kept going because the detour signs were saying keep going, and then came to a turn right to follow the detour, which immediately turned into this, a red road. So sat-nav's kicked back in now and is telling me to turn right in 1.2k, but I've got an hour of travelling yet to do, and I just hope and pray that this comes back onto blacktop and I don't have to do an hour of this. I can see some blacktop up there at the top of the hill in the distance, so maybe they've just resurfaced in this bit. But this, it's like pea gravel, and on road tyres this is not nice. Not nice at all. $550k turn right. Bike squirming about all over the place. 250k, so it's wanting me to turn right here, but I don't look like, oh, the diversion says turn right, so we're going, but it don't look like blacktop to me. I don't like this squishy shit. I wonder if the boys have come this way. I don't know which way they were coming, so I don't know whether they'll have come this way and had this pleasure. This is where I wish I had 80/20 tyres on. You can almost guarantee, can't you, that the road closed will have been because they were trimming a bloody hedge or something. You know, it'd be something and nothing that, had I have ridden another 10 k's up the road to find out, they might have said to a motorbike, oh yeah, you can go through, go on. But I guess we won't know, will we? I'm going right down here, aren't I? Oh, lovely. I've just noticed that the sat-nav is now saying in 5.2 k's, which is a long way on this shit, but in 5.2 k's I turned left onto Minganew to Mulway Road. Well, Mulway is where we're going. So it looks like that's the main road. That must be after the road closure, just a bit further up. So I don't suppose this classes as off-road, really, but I'm still not keen. Never done any amount of off-road. My mate John, one of the guys that will be there when we arrive, said the main thing is you've got to hold your grips like you're holding two budgerigars. Never had cause to hold one budgerigar, let alone two. But anyway, I think I get the idea. Let the bike move beneath you, they tell you. I just don't want it to move too much. I want it to stay beneath me. There is a T-junction, and fingers crossed it is clad with tarmac. Ooh, I can see black. Yes, hey. Oh, lovely. I'd love to know why that road was closed. I bet it's absolutely something and nothing. Gravel, 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 gravel. Horrible. There we go. Okay. Some time to make up now. So we're just about to arrive in Malawi, or however you pronounce it. It's actually taken pretty much exactly 4.5 hours, which is what it said it would take, so that's good. And it's been a great ride. It's been country roads like this the whole way. Hardly any traffic. That detour was a little tiny blip, but it didn't last long. So I've just got to find the railway hotel. And of course the big question now is who's got here first? Will the lads be here by now? Or has their scenic route taken them further afield? Welcome to Malawi. Ha 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 ha! So the railway hotel is on the left, just up here a bit, I think. Somewhere a bit further. Doesn't exactly look like this place is banging. This will be it. Railway hotel, here we are. I guess the motel will be down the side and round the back. Let's have a looky. Well, it's Tuesday morning and everybody's made it through the night, and it was surprisingly comfy beds actually. Had a good sleep. So we're off to Geraldton this morning, and everybody's slowly coming round and tinkering about with the bikes. So Geraldton and then on to Dongara this evening. Bit of sightseeing, I'm not quite sure what in Geraldton, but looks like it's going to be a pretty perfect day today. It was a little bit warm yesterday, and I think it'll probably be just about perfect today. We're heading nearer the coast, so it'll cool down a touch. So fingers crossed, should be nice. You're going to work your way around all of them, Rob.
Like shows by the minute.
A typical vet.
Yeah, well, I can pull it over for you, you can do it if you like.
Well, this is last night's little palace, and very glamorous it was too. This is the bedroom. There's the dining room, the walk-in robe, the kitchen, the theatre, and the bathroom / ensuite. Can't go wrong, can you? Even got a waste disposal system and a walk-in pantry. Morning, Paul.
Good morning, Carl. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Yes, he was gentle with me.
Was he?
Yeah. So it's Tuesday morning, beautiful day, and we're all gassed up and heading out to Geraldton now. Should be a nice ride, not particularly far, and from what I can gather we're going looking at the HMS Memorial. HMS Sydney, should I say, Memorial. Okay, so off we go. It was, we had a nice evening. We just stayed in the railway hotel last night and had a couple of drinks and some quite nice food actually. Chicken palmy went down quite well, and John partook of the pork chops, which were quite nice by the looks of things. So yeah, it was a good night, and just sat outside and a couple of cups of tea, bit of a chat. We know how to live it up, us boys. And it was good, and slept well. Slept surprisingly well, really. Okay, so we'll get some K's in, and I will catch up with you when we get a little bit closer to Geraldton. So we're just coming into Geraldton now. Been to Geraldton a few times, but pretty much always done the same thing. So, and it's a few years since we've been actually, so it's all a little bit fresh again. I'm not sure whether Paul's heading straight to this HMS Sydney or not. I think he wasn't sure where it was. So, not sure where we're going first. Nice building there. I don't know what it is. Yeah, I think he's just heading upwards, isn't he? I think there's definitely some guesswork involved in this, isn't there? Yeah, it's worked. You alright, Paul? Yeah? Well, it's an impressive thing. I don't know what it is, really. But
The memorial,
Memorial.
to the HMAS Sydney.
oh, right.
With all hands during the war.
Oh, I see. Right. Oh, we're gonna. I thought when you said HMS Sydney, I was thinking it was an actual ship or something we were going looking at. Right.
I only found it recently.
Okay. Part of John's windscreen blew off on the way here. He lost it. Let's have a nosy. Pretty impressive structure, for sure. Wow. It's impressive, isn't it, Paul?
Sorry?
It's impressive, that.
Impressive, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is supposed to be one of the widows looking out to sea to see if her husband.
So everyone died, did they?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Went down all hands, yeah.
Oh dear.
That's not on a former route.
Really? So I think the next stop is a cafe and a cup of coffee. So Dome is the place to be. I can feel a Florentine coming on. This has to be one of, if not the most picturesque dome. Look at where it's situated. It's lovely, isn't it? So here we are at Separation Point Lookout, still in Geraldton, and quite a lookout. That's nice. Okay, so that was Separation Point, and we're now heading down, I gather, via Port Denison to Dongara, which is our second night's stay over, our second night's digs. So it's only about 60k, or a nice pleasant little ride down the coast. Okay, so we're just arriving in Dongara. Not sure whether we're heading straight to the digs or what. But this is Dongara. Oh, Lamborghini. Nice. So just arrived at Port Denison for a quick shufty round here. The rooms aren't ready yet, so we thought we'd have a look up here. Check this out. Not him. Don't need to check him out. How nice is that? That's lovely. Woo! Hiya! John needs help off his bike. Look, he can't even. Oh, here we go. Oh. Ah, such a shame to catch that on camera. Never mind. Bearing in mind the beautiful weather and our surroundings at the moment, we're all just receiving red warnings from the RAC and such like that severe weather is coming in tonight and tomorrow. So tomorrow might be in stark contrast to today by the looks of things. We've all got our wet weather gear. Fingers crossed. It'd be nice if we didn't need it. We'll see. So we just arrived at the digs in Dongara. Here you go. So this is the Dongara Hotel Motel. Actually quite nice. We're nicely hidden away from the main road, which is good to have the bikes tucked away. And there is what appears to be a very nice restaurant over there. We've had a quick sneaky peeky of the menu. It looks very good. Looks like I've pulled John again.
Ooh, lovely.
Let me show you the palace. This is a little bit better than last night's. Nice, quite acceptable, and a bit dark. Sorry. There we go. Nothing wrong with that. And oh, a nice bigger shower. That one we had yesterday was somewhat tiny. So yeah, more than happy with that. All good. So it's day 3 and we're heading home today, and we've all had severe weather warnings, which is hard to imagine, but this is the morning sky. It's about 6:45 at the minute, and it looks really quite nice, but there's definitely bad weather coming apparently. So I think we've got about an hour and a half ride to our first and interesting stop of the day, and then a couple of hours from there. So it's going to be very interesting to see if we manage to get away with it or not today. Just packing up, and then we'll hit the road. If the weather is really bad, there'll be pretty limited photography, I should say. Anyway, we'll see how we go. Fingers crossed. So we've made it to Jurien Bay just as the storm's kicking in. It's just started raining as we pulled up, and it's gone very wild and pretty damn horrible. So it's going to be an interesting ride from here. It's coffee time, and everybody's into pies and cakes, and there's some really rather nice stuff here. But of course Carl, on his special diet, isn't partaking. Can you believe it? What about this not eating in the day, Mr. Pat? What about this not eating in the day? Does that not count? I see. Just been in here and had a coffee and a little bit of a warm-up. And now we're going to head over to this bike place. I'm not sure what it's called, to have a look at this bike collection. I'm almost How are you, John? So we've made it to Ian's collection in Jurien Bay, and this is, I'll flip the camera around in just a second, but this is the biggest collection of Vincent motorcycles in the world. He's just saying he's got every model from, I think he said 1933 to 1958. Bearing in mind this is just at his house. Check this out. How unbelievable is this?
There's 2 black lightnings here. There's one right down there. I've had 36 black lightning engines.
This is Ian.
And 12 or 14 of those are
And
made.
this is the little workshop.
That's about 22, 24 for 5.
So this is the very enviable Ian Boyle collection. And what a collection it is. Unbelievable. And there is the man himself, if you can make that out, sitting on his little motorised esky. Superb. Absolutely superb. You are?
You shift between your legs.
Oh yeah? Yeah. Wow. This is freaky, isn't it? There you go, John, when you can't hold your bike up anymore, you can just get one with a sidecar on. This is Ian's house. And it looks like, yeah, look, that's Ian's kitchen. Look at this. Unbelievable. Imagine coming down at morning to make your coffee, and that's his kitchen there. Imagine just being able to glance over the kettle and this lot's there. Ian's just told us that this Black Lightning, there's only 2 of them in the world, and he's got one of them. You couldn't put a price on it, could you? You just couldn't. And it's taken 40 years to acquire this. He started collecting such 40 years ago, in 1988, he said. He's also just said that the bike that's in the workroom there being worked on, the gold one we saw before briefly, the engine for that was sat on his kitchen bench there for 5 years. And he used to invite people up to see what he called his new coffee machine. He's a bit of a card. Well, that was absolutely amazing. So we're all going to get togged up and well, as togged up as we can under the circumstances, and hit the road for what I imagine is going to be a very wild ride home. Well, we've made it home. That was that was a wild ride, to say the least. That's the worst weather I've ever ridden in. We had about an hour when we left Jurien Bay of absolutely torrential, horrendous weather, and then it eased off a little bit, but that was terrible. basically managed to stay dry and still warm. So yeah, it wasn't that bad, but yeah, that's definitely the worst weather I've ever ridden in. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks to the guys. It was an interesting and educational weekend. Can't wait to do it again. It was really good. Take care. I hope everybody's enjoyed the video, and as always, ride safe.